Long time no see. Sorry for the huge gap in my uploads. Kind of get easily distracted with other glitches and stuff as I'm trying to focus on making one video. Anyway, this is to show how to make, getting the shard of darkness and everything you need for the glitch a little easier. It also is very useful for just getting the items you need in general. As I've said in the past, the items in Skull start with in the beginning is kind of everything. It really determines on how your run plays out. So experimenting with the things you start with is your best bet. I'll kind of go over some of my best combinations that I found to work for me. But yeah, I'll do that later, I guess. So let's go ahead and get into it. Here you can see my starting setup after I've picked my skull and my two items. I drop down to that first room. If one of the choices is an item room, I close the whole game, either from the system's home screen or, I just close the window on PC. Then I just boot the game back up and you'll start right there in that first room. And then I just pick the item room. And normally I just run to the very end of the stage to check and see if it's an omen or not. And as you can see here, it is. And luckily I've gotten the shard immediately. Now this doesn't happen every time. It happens fairly enough, but there's a way to make it be the shard if you have enough items. So now normally I would exit the game as soon as I enter a new room. And yes, I mean every time. This seems to maximize how often I get item rooms. And the only reason I'm not going to be doing it right now is because I already have the shard. But if you want to increase your omen encounters, it's best you close at the start of every room. Even in shops, in between acts, all of it. So I've just skipped ahead here to my next omen room or my next item room encounter. And you can see it is indeed an omen chest at the end. Take note of the items I've gotten from this chest before I exit the game and come back and redo the room. So I'll boot it up again and redo the whole room like I said, and I'll wait until the end when the chest appears. And before I open the chest, I'll go into my inventory and delete one of my items. Now when I open the chest, you can see that it changed my choices. And if I still don't get something I want or something I like any of the options, I'll redo the room again. Except for the next time before I open the chest, I'll delete two of the items and it'll change the selections to something else. And so on and so on, like the 3 items, 4 items. So the more items you have, the more chances at what you want to get, you'll get. So now it's not actually the items as much as it is your inscriptions. So the more different inscriptions you have, the more chances you get. Because losing inscriptions is what seems to change what items you get. So keeping your inscriptions at 1 is your best bet, because if you got 2 in an inscription and then you delete an item but now you still got 1, you didn't lose that inscription, and sometimes the items will stay the same. Now this little trick works on all chests, omen or not, and it even works on the items dropped from the bosses, so long as you exit the game before the boss room as well. It's also best to exit the game right before the shop for sure, because you're more likely to get an item room as one of the choices at the end. But when you do this, it seems like they don't offer you a skull in the shop ever. So you got to take that into account. Skipping ahead here to when I've obtained another omen item, and in here with the slime. And the slime is your best bet, your best thing to obtain the unknown darkness if you've already got the shard. And I'm working on some tricks to make that appear more often. I'm still figuring that out. Because while closing the game, every room seems to increase the odds that you run into certain NPCs, especially the one that changes your skills. It seems like it makes it harder to find the slime NPC. So usually after I get the shard, I usually won't even do the closing the game every room thing until I run into them. And it seems to work best that way. You'll see here that I actually dropped one of my omen items. In my original video, I said that you needed 5 in omen if you had the unknown darkness, or 4 if you had either of the solar or lunar eclipse. But just recently I discovered that you actually only need 1 other omen item if you have unknown darkness, and 2 omen items if you have either the solar or lunar eclipse. So now it's way easier. In order to do this with fewer omen items, you just kind of need to do the dropping in a specific order, which I'll show you here. And if you notice that your health keeps cutting in half, keeps getting, lower and lower, you've got your order wrong and you need to switch it up. As you can see, my sale price is going up here, so you can see that it's pretty much working. The only thing is you just need to make sure that when you're doing it with either of the eclipse items, the items you dropping and swapping out can't have multiple inscriptions on them, or they'll mess up the timing of the glitch. Lastly here, I'm just going to include another couple of minor exploits that I found. I might do a couple of shorts on these for those who don't make it this far into the video. But I'm going to buy some shield in here, and luckily I got some bonus health to showcase as well. The other thing I'm going to kind of show you, a little exploit, is after you've completed a golden room and you open the chest at the end of the room, if you leave the gold bars on the ground and restart the run, sometimes that gold will carry over to the next run. Now, it's not usually a whole lot of gold, so if you just want a little boost, I guess it'll help. But that's also the point of the other minor glitch I'm gonna show you. Now, remember I got that extra shield and that extra health in the shop. So I restarted the run and got to the first shop. Pay attention to my health here as I grab this health upgrade. I should only get 10 more HP, but as you can see here, I got 20. And when I grab the shield, I should only get 30 for picking it up, but it's well over that. It's 70 basically. This is because if you restart the game with these bonuses from the shop, like that black market, they'll carry over into your next run, and that just stacks over and over again. So you can just pretty much do this repeatedly if you have the time for that, and stack up as much bonus health or as much bonus shield as you want.